to be perfectly candid with you, Jake, I'm just not ready to do that at this point. I'm not there right now.
Next on Newsmax Prime, the House Speaker speaks out against the presumptive Republican nominee. Meantime, that likely nominee rules out Marco Rubio as his possible number two, even as two former GOP presidents declined to endorse Donald Trump. Plus, retired Army General Michael Flynn talks about Trump as a commander-in-chief, while a TV war of ads breaks out between Trump and Clinton, with some collateral damage involving Newsmax TV. We expect you to get involved tonight with your phone calls as Newsmax Prime starts right now. Good evening and welcome to Newsmax Prime. I'm J.D. Hayworth. Of prime interest tonight, depriving Donald to pump up Paul and removing Rubio from consideration as running mate. Two major stories of political intrigue breaking late this afternoon. Miranda Kahn has more.
J.D., Donald Trump may have his sights set on Hillary, but right now all things are pointing to his own party. This after a stunning announcement today by the nation's highest elected Republican.
So, Mr. Speaker, you have said throughout this process that you will support the Republican presidential nominee. Now you have a presumptive nominee, Donald Trump. Will you support him?
Well, to be perfectly candid with you, Jake, I'm just not ready to do that.
That was House Speaker Paul Ryan telling CNN's Jake Tapper that he's not ready to board the Trump train, saying conservatives need to be reassured Trump shares their values and principles. Ryan, who many pushed to run for the presidency this year, declined the offer, saying the nominee should be someone who's run.
I do not want, nor will I accept the nomination for our party.
Ryan did run, however, as Mitt Romney's VP pick back in 2012. Carly Fiorina shared that title, even if just for a few days, before Donald Trump knocked the Cruz and Carly ticket right off the ballot. Since then, many have speculated who Trump will pick as his running mate, now that he's the presumptive nominee, and what the odds are that pick will be a former rival.
Well, I would say probably a 40% chance within the group. I've gotten to be friends with a lot of those people, and I guess perhaps enemies with a couple.
If you were thinking Marco Rubio, think again. As first reported on our Newsmax website by Washington correspondent John Gizzi, a source close to the Trump campaign says the Florida senator is out. So who did make the final cut? Well, the source doesn't say, but we do know that Trump has asked Dr. Ben Carson to lead a committee to help him decide. And this just in, J.D., former Texas Governor Rick Perry has now boarded that Trump train, offering his official endorsement. J.D., back to you.
Thanks very much, Miranda. Now, for this quick reminder, we will be taking your calls for the next hour at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. We want to hear what's on your mind, because here at Newsmax TV, we're not here to tell you what you think or what you should think. We want to hear your point of view, as we truly are America's forum. Now, joining us from Newsmax Washington, the man who broke the story about Marco Rubio being knocked out of contention as Donald Trump's running mate, Newsmax chief political columnist and White House correspondent John Gizzi. So, John, you had the article there at Newsmax.com saying Rubio is out. Why did he fail to make the cut?
Well, there's several reasons for it. Obviously, as it is with any marriage of people for the two highest offices in the land, the chemistry wasn't there. It was not a good fit between Big Donald and the opponent he dubbed Little Rubio, or Little Marco, I should say. But more importantly, there was a feeling around the Trump camp, our sources said, that Rubio would not be a strong magnet for the Hispanic American votes that candidate Trump needs to reach out to. Moreover, Marco Rubio lost badly in Florida's presidential primary to Trump just before he pulled out of the race. This was in striking contrast to John Kasich, who won his home state of Ohio by a commanding margin. So coupled with what the Trump camp felt was a lack of appeal for the ticket, to the fact that the chemistry wasn't there and it wasn't a good fit, Rubio was scratched. He's out already.
And can I ask you who is in very quickly, John? Will it be Kasich, or how is this going to proceed under Dr. Ben Carson?
You're going to hear a lot of names in the coming days. Kasich certainly will be one of them, and it will be interesting to see if he will actually accept. Here's something else to watch. Keep Governor Nikki Haley's name at the top of your agenda and on your own short list. I don't have anything official from the Trump camp, but you'll hear a lot of speculation about the two-term governor who gave a strong response to President Obama's State of the Union message and moved her state and the nation.
Understood. Understood. Let me intervene right here because I do need to offer an update on a previously televised interview, and I know you were chasing down some other facts tonight, Brother Gizzi. Donald Trump specifically took Nikki Haley out of consideration. So unless he's changed his mind on that, and everybody can change, it looks like now Haley is out of it. In to talk to us tonight, also from Newsmax Washington, former Congressman Jack Kingston, chairman of the Georgia Republican Party Foundation. Jack was a Ted Cruz supporter, and he is here tonight to evaluate what's going on here. You're stepping in, Jack. You're all for Trump now, and it's interesting, this whole search for a running mate. Donald Trump, via telephone on CNBC's Squawk Box, talking about what he's looking for in the number two. Let's watch and listen.
Well, I'm a business person, and I've got that covered, and I have so many people have endorsed me, including your very dear friend Carl Icahn and many others, as you know. And I think we have that world covered. But the political world, although I've been in politics all my life in a different sense on the other side, I think that having somebody that can get legislation through and help me with that would be good.
And we see on that billboard from CNBC, Jack, that he's saying it's unlikely he's going to pick Kasich. Is he going to keep this thing going right on through the convention to build interest in your mind, Jack?
JD, I think he will. I don't see him to be in any rush. There's no reason for him to rush this thing through. Basically, he is our nominee at this time. What I think he should do is spend time grooming a good team, a team that will take it to November, a team that can defeat Hillary Clinton, because as you know, winning the primary is a lot different than the general election, and right now he has to have a good on-the-ground, grassroots plan to get some of these voters who aren't traditional Republicans on his team. But I want to be quick to add the conventional wisdom is that he's offended everybody. The fact is he brought non-traditional voters to the primary, and that's why he won, and that's why he won so strongly.
Let's go to the phones. It's ladies first, checking in from Spokane, Washington. Darlene is on the line. Darlene, welcome to Newsmax Prime.
Hi.
Hi.
I didn't think I'd ever get
You're
on
here, and we're happy you're here. Go ahead, Darlene.
You know, I watch between you, and I love your channel, and I watch between Fox. I switch back and forth, you know, commercial-wise.
Yeah, well, keep it right here. What's on your mind tonight? Okay.
I love you. I love Dennis and all of you.
Thank you.
And I'm a female. I'm 63, and I watch the polls, which, you know, I don't think they're right, because you know what? There's more women out there do like Trump.
Well, I know at the Hayworth Hacienda there are a lot of ladies who like Trump. Jack Kingston, your take on Trump's appeal to women. Will we see the gender gap disappear?
Darlene, I think you're right, and I think the reality is the press has this view of women that's basically pro-choice. I mean, that's about as high as their curiosity goes. JD and I learned many years ago in the U.S. Congress that women were concerned about jobs. They were concerned about national security. They were concerned about taxes. Just like men, newsflash. And I think Donald Trump can convey that message that Make America Great Again is, in fact, a good slogan. And it's almost a call to economic arms that, you know what, we're tired of losing in these trade agreements. We're tired of losing on the border. Donald Trump has an appeal to all sexes and all races, and that's why he's won with such commanding numbers.
Let me ask Darlene. Darlene, if you're still with us, what makes Trump so appealing to you?
I like his, you know what? I like the way he went after people. You know what? He says things that you want to say. I'm sorry, like, you know, he's like, for instance, the one that was eating, you know, when he was eating.
Oh, Kasich, yeah. He's not afraid to take on guys.
He's not afraid to say what most people want, you know?
Yeah.
That was my first instinct, you know?
Sure, he is un-PC. Forget political correctness, right? That's what really gets it.
Yeah, I mean, most of us people are polite. He comes out and says exactly what's on his mind.
Yeah. Hey, I really do appreciate that, Darlene. Thanks for your call. John Gizzi, it's worth noting that he even gets folks to apologize, like the Mexican president, Vicente Fox. Let me double back, though, with you very quickly, John Gizzi, and it's this. To appeal to women, in terms of the vice presidential search, how likely is it he might turn to the governor of New Mexico, Susana Martinez?
Very unlikely. Governor Martinez is the one who has long ruled herself out of being vice president with anyone or seeking office after her term ends in 2018. She takes care of a sister with an ailment, has no desire to leave the land of enchantment, New Mexico, and frankly has spent a number of years tamping down speculation she'll move on.
Fair enough.
I'd say the odds are none and -10.
All right. Well, let me turn to Jack Kingston to go to a place we know pretty well, the House of Representatives. And Jack, earlier today, there is Paul Ryan, now the Speaker of the House, still speaking out against Donald Trump. Why on earth would he go on national television to say he cannot support the presumptive nominee of the party?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what went into that, but I would say this, that in all likelihood, Paul Ryan and Donald Trump are going to sit down, I would even predict in the next 10 days, even a week, and say, here's where we can agree, here's where we can work together, here's where we got to move in a different direction. I think the two of them will get along really well, and I think that they'll get beyond this latest, if you will, exchange in the press. I think some of it was just positioning. And I'm not sure exactly what the speaker had in mind when he said, I'm not there yet, but there could have been 2 or 3 very specific issues. Maybe Paul was defending the integrity of the House, which, as you know,
well,
there are a lot of fine
but here's
people.
the problem with that, Jack. You got Ryan giving in to Obama's demands for the budget and standing up against the presumptive nominee of his own party. Now, if it's entitlement reform, I can understand it, but it's just more than passing curious. At any rate, he's got some company. Earlier today, 2 former presidents, Bush 41 and 43, say they're not going to get into this campaign. For George H.W. Bush at age 91, his press statement says he's retired from politics. He came out of retirement to do a couple of things for Jeb, but those were the exceptions that proved the rule. And of course, George W. is staying out of it. I've got some stuff to say about that. Unfortunately, guys, we're at the end of our time. Didn't mean to filibuster you here toward the end. Jack Kingston, we'll have you back real soon. John Gizzi, great news, breaking that story that Marco Rubio is off the Trump short list. We will be back with more right after this as Newsmax Prime continues.